Ladies and gentlemen, this is former WCW and TNA ring announcer David Penzer, also author of Sitting Ringside Volume 1, and you are watching and listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 313 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Bob Colling Jr., and with me as always is Dallas Gridley. Dallas, we're coming out of Hard Justice, which at that event, and you're going to do a rundown, so I'm not going to go through everything, obviously, but the main news is that we have one man that holds all the gold, not only in the company, but is branched off into New Japan as well. Because Kurt Angle, coming out of Hard Justice, he defeated Samoa Joe, and as a result, he is the TNA World Champion, the TNA X Division Champion, the TNA Tag Team Champion. Yes, he has both of those titles. He's not just one, he's got both. And then, to go along with all that, he is the IWGP champion. We've got a whole lot of news coming out of Hard Justice. This is going to be one of our longer ones, as per usual. Anytime coming out of a pay-per-view, David Meltzer obviously reviews it. We compare it to our notes. And Pacman Jones is going to be apparently a fixture moving forward. We do have a number one contender for at least one of Kurt Angle's titles that we know of, which is Abyss, winning Doomsday. But Dallas, Hard Justice was not one of the better shows. I had higher hopes for it in comparison to Victory Road, and unfortunately, it didn't quite meet my entertainment aspects. Now, luckily for Dallas, one match was good, so he decided I got a thumbs up.
Well, I just looked back, and I think you talked me into going in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So, I was up, and then you talked me into it. And which is actually pretty ironic here, looking back at our pay-per-view ratings for the year, because I have alternated between an up and a middle every single month.
Oh, really?
So, and all the ones I said middle didn't mean you said down for all of those, because Bob is back to going to be a middle guy sometimes.
Right, I have, and I make sure to give a reasoning for that.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, I avoided doing the middles.
Yeah, you were very hard on yourself, I think. But yeah. So we've had 8 pay-per-views so far this year, and just as a reference point, since we're technically over the halfway point now, as a total average, 3 of those are a thumbs down from us, 4 are up, and then 1 was straight in the middle. So that's kind of where we're at as far as our pay-per-view ratings are going. Now, compared to 2006, we had 1 down pay-per-view. In 2005, there was 1 in the middle. Everything else was good. So it's kind of unfortunate.
Are you serious? 2005, everything was good except for 1?
Except for 1. And would you like to take a guess of what pay-per-view that could have been in 2005? And it was only down because of you. I gave it a thumbs up. So averaged in the middle. That's kind of...
Oh my God. That's funny.
I think you would have said in the middle if you were doing it at the time, but...
Well, Hard Justice?
It, in fact, was Hard Justice.
That's what I thought.
I'm telling you. Hard Justice, one of those shows. But that was the Tito thing. It was the whole thing. So yeah, kind of fun to look back on. And of course, if you've listened to our year in reviews in the past, you kind of get the recap of how many shows that year we give thumbs up, thumbs down, and thumbs in the middle. Like, man, dude, I'm missing 2004 right now, dude. I'm looking at the impacts. Every single one was good except for the best damn sports show or whatever.
The specials?
Yeah, the two specials we didn't like. Everything else was good. Everything.
Oh,
When they
I
did the
don't.
cage
I don't.
match that we knew. Remember the cage
Yeah.
match that they like
Yeah.
taped? Yeah, that whole thing. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I get excited thinking about the old days.
Well, the way that you're talking, I don't think I realized that we liked so much on like 04, 05, 06. Well, 2006, I figured, but
There's a couple pay-per-views in 2004 that we were a little bit hit or miss on, but impact-wise, once we go to Impact, it's quite heavily positive for a very long time.
okay.
So it's kind of cool. And really, we don't start seeing a lot of thumbs down, especially for me, because, I mean, how bad... Impact's got to be pretty bad to be bad. But until late 06, we start to see a little bit more of Bob hating on the shows. So
Late 06, that is?
yeah, I mean, there's a couple here and there, but
Well,
as I'm scrolling, there's more from August to December than any other point.
there is a little bit of correlation there because Russo's returned in September.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, September of 06. So, I mean, that kind of maybe tells you.
And it's funny because I feel like you can kind of tell on the TV when he's back because shit is going boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that all being said, we averaged the show as a thumbs down show in this regard. But Bob, what do you think the readers of The Observer thought? Did they give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle?
I'm going to say they went thumbs in the middle.
Yeah, the majority were 46.2%, so just barely. And that's with 54 votes. 42.7% were thumbs down, 50 votes. And 11.1% gave it a thumbs up, or 13 votes. So really, this is one of the, I would say, most negative voted pay-per-views we have seen in a decent amount of time.
I was just going to say, I feel like it's almost, if it's ever thumbs in the middle like that, it's usually still plenty going up. And that's the opposite. A lot of it them going down.
Yeah, this feels like it's definitely more of a down. I'm even scrolling right now, just from here in 2007, keeping track. Oh, wait. Destination X did get majority down. So there's at least one. And for a reference,
Really?
I feel like we did not hate that. No, we gave it a thumbs up. So
I was gonna say we enjoyed that show.
Majority gave Against All Odds a thumbs down, over 50%. Where were we on that? Let's see. I keep closing it, thinking I'm done. Against All Odds. We were down on Against All Odds. But everything else is overwhelmingly positive. So pretty interesting. As far as the best match on the show, what do you think the readers voted for that one?
I would. Okay, so it's gonna be. I mean, I don't think I would say Kurt and Joe is the best match, but I'm gonna say they'll say that.
No, that actually came in second place.
So it's the X Division one.
It sure was. It was the Lethal Dutt versus Triple X versus Sabin and Shelley with 64 votes. Kurt and Samoa Joe got 38 votes.
I was gonna say that.
Now, normally I feel like I say it's kind of obvious what people thought were the worst match. I think we had a couple stinkers. I still kind of feel like one might stick out, though. What do you think got voted on as the worst match?
Okay, so I think I feel like Chris Harris and Black Rain is going to be on this list. However, that was definitely more of an angle advancement rather than supposed to be really anything of a match. So for me, for a match, I'm going to say LAX against Voodoo King Mafia.
Well, in your case, you would be right then. But they did vote Harris and Black Rain as the number one. Now, what I will say is that got 43 votes, but the VKM versus LAX match got 42. So it only really won by one vote.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was clearly the Black Rain Chris Harris thing. Like I said, this is more designed to, I think, get the Black Rain character over as being like this vicious, like what the hell's going on with Dustin,
right?
LAX and Buchanan was actually like, we're having a tag match that just stunk.
I think that's a great point, and that's something I really thought about while we were watching it too, but I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Also, number 3 in the worst match poll was the Doomsday Chamber of Blood match between Sting, Abyss, and Andrew Martin versus Christian Cage, Tom Cole, and AJ Styles. That only got 16 votes, though, so it's quite a difference from the other two. And then in 4th place was Raven versus Kaz with 9 votes. So we were a little bit all over the place there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Raven and Kaz wasn't that good.
I didn't think it was that bad either, though.
But if when it comes to putting on a list of best match or worst match, I'd put on the worst match list.
Yeah, okay, yes, if you're gonna do that, yeah.
Well, then there you go.
There you go. I guess he's right. Okay, let me get into some notes here. I'll just point out that the title of the Figure 4 Wrestling from Brian Alvarez, which we aren't starting with by any means, he labeled it Total Nonstop Atrocities, so he's already very upset about this show. But we're not really talking about his takes of the pay-per-view necessarily.
Right.
And I think I'm going to, let's see, do I want to start with that? I guess let me go to some Pacman Jones stuff, and that'll lead us into the pay-per-view, and then I have some stuff I'll have to come back up for. But so, Dave Meltzer from I usually like to try to give the dates here, August 15th, 2007, Observer Newsletter. Oh, and also, just as a reference point, we knew a while ago at this point is when the Benoit family tragedy situation happened, the murder-suicide. Brian Adams has just passed away, so I like to call out when I see a name that people know, and so that's where we're at here in timeline-wise. Dave starts here. If there was a word for the week when it came to TNA, it had to be frustration. The company, in a constant search to get its name brand out to a public that largely thinks pro wrestling is WWE, reached awfully low in signing Adam Pacman Jones. The week started off with the official announcement of signing Jones that he would appear on Impact. After his agent had first said that he wouldn't be wrestling, it was announced that he would, and strongly hinted that he would be trying to get the tag team titles. With the handling of wanting to prove that he was the best team player as a way to try to remake his image in a positive direction. After Jeff Jarrett trained him to wrestle, the Tennessee Titans countered, claiming the language in the standard NFL contract prohibits players participating in pro wrestling. This is largely a team-by-team thing, because over the years there have been players like William Perry, Reggie White, and Kevin Green who have wrestled while still being active, while others had talked of it and were stopped by the standard contract. Now, this all led to the company getting the most mainstream publicity it has ever gotten. But as funny as this sounds, many of the company were surprised at how negative it all was. Jones, a former high first-round NFL draft choice, is best known for multiple arrests, particularly the alleged involvement in the Las Vegas strip club incident that wound up with former pro wrestler Tom Urbanski, I'm saying his name probably wrong, but who worked Northeast Independence and was a regular in the dying days of the AWA, paralyzed. It was covered as a legitimate sports story all weekend by ESPN, which included an interview Jones and Jeff Jarrett did together where Jones talked about how he learned all of the moves in about 40 minutes, and Jarrett claimed that he was the best athlete he had ever trained. Jones claimed that he wouldn't violate his NFL contract because he would only violate his contract by getting hurt, and he wasn't going to get hurt. Lots of people in wrestling were already mad because of the idea that he could learn the game in 40 minutes and that you can pretty much guarantee not getting hurt. Now, all of this led to a TNA drawing a .99 rating on the Go Home show before Hard Justice on August 9th, lower than they had been averaging. The pay-per-view, the first time that he would appear live, appears to have done average for TNA show, if not slightly below average. Now, that day of the TV debut, the local Nashville Tennessean ran a story quoting George how do I say this guy's name? Pistrowski? I don't know. He's a former AWA pro wrestler and a friend of Urbanski, who he paralyzed, from that time period. He talked about how wrestling people all stick together, and because both he and Urbanski have worked with Jarrett in the past. So he says maybe the joke will be on Pacman. He says because Jeff knew us and he knew Tom, and maybe he's saying, "Hey, this guy is a clown. Let's get him in here and hurt him." In the wrestling business, it's called the shoot, and that's when it's real and when they try to take you out. A lot of guys know Tom, and us guys in wrestling are a clique. They might beat Pacman into submission. So that's apparently they think it's all a work that they're bringing Pacman in to just beat him up. Now Dave goes on to say, of course, the very idea of that is ridiculous. Jeff Jarrett was more desperate for Jones than vice versa, as they feel the need for anything to give them a breakthrough and help publicize the existence of the company. It's a funny thing because promotions crave the kind of pub this got, yet the results were frustrating. At least it didn't appear to bottom out like last month's show. But Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle, even with the soap opera build-up that seemed to take away from the interest of the match. Now, he does note here that there was a great countdown show on Spike that nobody saw that apparently did a great job hyping the match the night before, as compared with a poor impact that people did see in the usual slot. And even though it's been done to death, it's still better than the Joe and Angle versus Team 3D on top. So, yeah, and that was last month's pay-per-view, if you recall. Plus, this show finally had the Steiners vs. 3D build up strong interviews, even with the terrible physical altercations. Now, this gets even more interesting with Jones. The Tennessee Titans went to court on August 10th, 2 days before the pay-per-view, and they got a restraining order from the court judge who agreed the clause in his contract that prohibited him from participating in any activity that may involve the risk of serious injury should give the team the right to prevent him from pro wrestling. The injunction completely banned him from appearing as a wrestler, spectator, announcer, or any form of participant. Now, after getting this restraining order, the Titans' chief operating officer, Steve Underwood, Jones's attorney, Warwick Robinson, and Jeff Jarrett had a meeting to save the deal. They went to court the next morning with a new agreement that allowed Jones to appear, but not allow him to be involved in anything physical. Jones was even specifically prohibited in agreement of being throwing anything or even spitting on a wrestler to provoke a pull apart where only Killings would have actually ended up being touched. So the original angle that was planned for the pay-per-view was going to be Ron Killings returning, furious that Jones had been hired. They were to have a brawl where Killings was to be bounced around by the 185-pound Jones. Then the next night on Impact, they were going to have a heart-to-heart and in a swerve, since the angle would eventually lead to a match. They would then instead form a tag team. So they were going to apparently brawl on the pay-per-view, and then they could not. Now instead, what happened was that Killings came after Jones as he was in the ring for the interview, where he robotically repeated phrases that Jarrett scripted out for him, saying that he came into wrestling because it was his childhood dream to be a wrestler, and that he chose TNA because TNA were the trendsetters in wrestling, and he was also a trendsetter. He pushed the line that he was going to prove he was the best team player in sports. Even the home team TNA fans didn't pop for the speech, particularly partially because the delivery was completely unconvincing, and partially because it was obvious from the start that they didn't want Jones part of their show. Which, Jones was booed from when he was shown early in the show arriving. When he came out, it was a combination of some boos and some more indifference. Some ringside fans started throwing money in the air due to the raining money scene in the Las Vegas strip club, where police claimed that Jones threw $81,000 in cash in the air to show that it was raining money, and then when the strippers were picking it up, he allegedly assaulted them. So that's what they were doing. For the most part, it appeared that the crowd felt he was an unwelcome intrusion on their wrestling show. Killings held back by security force, and the two never touched. A few minutes later, Jones was shown in the back, supposedly knocked out. The announcer said that he was bloodied and had a shoulder injury. Later, they showed him with a neck brace on, being put on a stretcher, still selling like he was knocked out, and was going out in the ambulance. The scene did end up airing on ESPN Sports Center after the show, and until the next afternoon. Even given the limitations of what they were allowed to do, the angle was bad from a wrestling standpoint, in that the fans didn't care. It came off cheesy, but it was probably the best idea under the circumstances. Now, as late as after the show, TNA officials were still hopeful of a new compromise that would allow Jones to wrestle, or at least being to promise some physical involvement at the conclusion of his deal, which expired at the Bound for Glory show in Atlanta on October 14th. It is believed that Jones was guaranteed $25,000 per appearance on this deal that he's currently got. And sorry, I was just losing where I was. But some of the wrestlers were upset that he was given his own Winnebago for a dressing room, while everyone else was forced to change in a double-wide trailer parked behind the studio. But there were no negative incidences. And to wrap up this Jones comments, in case you're curious, Bob, they were in fact selling Pacman Jones t-shirts at the merchandise stand, which, if you could tell, probably were just flying off the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. This is incredible.
Yeah.
How could they be surprised that there's a negative reaction to Pacman Jones being involved with the company? The man is suspended from the NFL for a full year because he was involved, allegedly, in attempted murder with a gun. What are we talking about? And then he cuts the promo, which I guess we're supposed to take him as a babyface, and he says it so robotically that he literally said "ha-ha" instead of laughing.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely brutal.
Horrendous. I mean, this can't be real. It can't be real if they're this tone deaf to not realize that it would not be something that the crowd would be supportive of.
Very weird to me. I'm really glad we got the information about this restraining order, because as we were watching the show, I was like, Bob, like, something tells me if he's not supposed to be active, they're calling them right now. But guess what? They got ahead of it. They did it 2 days before, which is absolutely wild.
I don't know what this obsession is that they would want him to wrestle. They're saying that he learned all the moves within 40 minutes.
Yeah, he knows how to do everything now within 40 minutes.
Insane. There's no way.
Jeff Jarrett taught him everything.
That makes no sense to me. That makes absolutely zero sense to me.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
If they could put the world title on Pacman Jones right now, they might do it.
Well, the funny thing about that is it literally would be the same shit, because the titles mean nothing right now because one guy has them.
Right.
I mean, what would the difference be? You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing really. I mean, Kurt Angle's still at least wrestling, I guess, but... Well...
I don't know, man. It just... it just makes no sense. I don't know. We live in a world where... And this is going to be such an extreme thing, but just an example, right? So whatever money they're giving Pacman Jones, they could have easily given a fraction of that to a guy like Bryan Danielson in Ring of Honor and have him jump over and have a match with Kurt Angle or whatever the case is. There's probably several guys in Ring of Honor, just as an example, that they could have snagged up.
Or they could pay the guys they have better.
Right. Right.
I don't know. Maybe pay for their hotels or their rental cars.
Right. That's probably even a better call.
Although I'd grab Bryan Danielson while you're at it too, but...
Yeah, but you know what? You're right, though, because they don't do the hotels anymore. That's why they all sleep together in the same hotel room to save costs. Like, why don't you just cover that cost?
And now I want to call out, unless I'm forgetting something, there has been no mention that Spike is helping with this deal. I think it's just TNA doing the deal. So it's not like they're getting extra money from Spike like they end up doing, I think, for Sting's contract.
Well, I think they did that for Kurt as well, didn't they?
I think also with Kurt. But there's no mention of that for Pacman Jones.
Well, right. I mean, nor should they.
Right. Okay, well, I think that's most of the Pacman Jones stuff that we're going to talk about. I think I'll just mention when the segment happens as we kind of go through the show here. I'm just scrolling to make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, no, that pretty much covers it. Some pretty interesting stuff in there, though. But let's dive into what Dave has to kick us off here about the show. And unfortunately, I think the beginning of it is not necessarily good. But then we'll start breaking down some matches. We'll compare his star ratings to our star ratings. I got that open up right here next to me as well, and it'll be a good time. So Dave says that as far as the show itself went, frustrating would again be the word. The TNA wrestlers, by and large, continue to give good effort in the ring, but their pay-per-view shows seem sabotaged by silliness in both storylines and stipulation upon stipulation to the point that nobody remembers or cares, and often takes away from the product and rarely seems to enhance it. The booking is reminiscent of WCW in 2000, and that's not a good thing. What's worse is that many in the company's hierarchy were in WCW in 2000 and evidently didn't learn much from the experience. We have stipulation matches with build-up so rushed, so fans neither care or even remember. We have titles being devalued to where nobody cares. The funny thing is, with the 2-hour show probable for the fall, meaning an increased commitment from Spike and their ability to keep costs down, they've never had the pieces in place for a better opportunity for a long-term success since their start. On the positive side, the TV has been good more than bad, and ratings are steady. In recent weeks, being nearly at company highs, all-time highs for the ratings. It's been nearly a year since the Kurt Angle deal, and they desperately need one new star to freshen the top, particularly to land for the debut of the 2-hour show to give them the feel of the new show being the start of something big. So he mentions a few names, Bob. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for the names who are the only names available who could fit the bill? He mentions
Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho.
Oh, you got one of them. Chris Jericho is one.
Okay.
The other two are Hulk Hogan and Rob Van Dam. All of whom have been talked with, but none who seem likely. Now, obviously, Jeff Jarrett is coming back, probably against Angle for Bound for Glory. He's being written here to take the top babyface spot, but that's not the answer. How would you feel if any of those three? Do you think they're going to be our game changer?
So 2007, Hogan probably has more value in 2007 than he did in 2010.
That's it. That's probably pretty accurate.
Jericho, I don't think Jericho would really move the needle. He's a lesser star than Kurt. I mean, obviously a good wrestler, I guess, but he's not going to move the needle. And then same thing with like Van Dam. Van Dam's not a big household name. He, got to start with ECW, which is a cult following. That cult following kind of followed him to WWE. So in the wrestling space, wrestling bubble, he's kind of a name, I guess. But TNA is looking for that. I think they're looking for that that name that isn't just attached to wrestling. That's why I would say Brock Lesnar. I mean, the guy had WWE, obviously, sure. He's got the amateur wrestling aspect. But he was also, he tried out for football with the Vikings. And apparently he was like one of the last cuts where he almost made the football team. So you would have that connection as well. If you were to show up, maybe ESPN would be like, oh, Brock Lesnar, remember him? He tried out as a linebacker for the Vikings in 2005.
He wasn't fighting yet, right?
No, that would have been 2009? Maybe later than that? Because his first fight is with
I guess I don't know if I realized there was that much between him leaving WWE and starting fighting.
Hang on, I'm gonna look this up. Because I might be wrong. It might be later than 2009.
I think the Brock Lesnar situation is interesting because he has this like big run in WWE.
Okay,
And
so
then
it's earlier than I thought.
Oh.
So his first UFC fight is actually February of 2008.
Okay.
And that's when he lost to Frank Mir.
Oh, he lost the first one? I didn't know if I knew that.
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. He was like dominating, and then he left his leg out. And Frank Mir is a pretty good submission guy, so he made him tap out to a knee bar, which naturally pissed off Brock,
Wow.
who then would fight him again in July of 2009 and just destroy him.
Okay, that's kind of awesome. He's like, yo, you fucking made me tap out. You're fucking done.
Oh, he was pissed, dude.
I like that.
He was pissed.
I feel like I actually don't know if I've seen any of Brock's fights. Is that bad?
No. I mean, he has like less than 10 fights, I think. Yeah, he has in total. He has 8. I'm sorry, 9. He has 9 in total
That's
fights.
fucking crazy. I'm learning so much right now.
Yeah, and then he was out 5 years because of his stomach issue.
Oh, that's right.
So most of his fights happened between February 2000. Well, there's one in June 2007, but it's not for UFC. It's for Dynamite USA. I'm not really counting that. So UFC is from February of 2008 through December 2011. He has 8 fights.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting.
So he finished 5-3. 5 wins, 3 losses, 1 no contest. So of the 9 fights, that's his total record.
I feel like that's not too bad.
I mean, really not for a guy that didn't have a lot of training in it. But that's the one thing that blows my mind about TNA. And I wonder if anybody's ever asked Jeff Jared anything or whatever. Like, how can you rationalize not seeing the value of a guy like Brock Lesnar into your company? If he's saying just pay me the same amount you're giving Kurt,
that's a bad move. That's a bad move. They should have done it.
I mean, I don't like. How do you not? And then like now when you look at it, of course hindsight, but now you look at his return into WWE, like that was huge, right? In 2012, people are like, "Holy shit! Never thought that was going to happen."
Right.
And whether you love the guy or hate the guy, I mean, Brock Lesnar he's a star, and he has had really good matches, both his first run, and then in the era of WWE, what people consider a good match, he's had a good match then too.
Right.
Just the matches he could have had in TNA, Samoa Joe in his prime. You do Kurt again. You do Abyss. You do Christian. AJ in his prime.
They should have at least done at least one match, I feel like, with Kurt in TNA, even if it was for the IWGP title or something.
They could have done something.
They could have. Well, not to be a tease and cut us off from Brock Lesnar here, but on our next week episode, we're going to talk about Brock Lesnar a little bit. So,
he's coming in.
Coming in, brother.
He's coming in.
Where was I? Oh, the Jeff Jarrett thing. Okay, so yeah, we're good there. Now, we're teasing this whole thing about who can we bring in for TV. Now, Dave notes, though, pay-per-view is still the company's most important revenue stream. And the only way they can succeed on pay-per-view in a field with so much competition, and they are so far down the totem pole of importance, is to do what grew their numbers originally. When they first went to monthly pay-per-views, they were garnering a reputation for putting on consistently top-notch shows that they are failing at. And this show was a prime example. Now, he kind of goes into some of these examples. So the Kurt Angle vs. Samoa Joe match, with the 4 championships at stake, the IWGP title, which Kevin Nash earlier in the show jokingly called the A&P title, the TNA title, X Division title, Tag Team titles, saw the first half of the match built around the Karen Angle at ringside angle that they were doing the whole show. Now, the show had several segments where Karen Angle brought into a bald-headed man whose ring name appeared to be the new man in her life. And they were sipping wine and making out in Joe's dressing room, while Kurt was in several segments appearing tortured. Far too predictably, the show ended when Karen went to give Joe a chair after a ref bump, pulled the chair away, and then slid it to Kurt, who used it, and everything was a swerve. Joe was a sap, the last thing you want of a top babyface, but everyone saw the swerve coming. And then, this night came on a night that also included a barroom brawl with a cheesy set with bar stools, a toilet, and liquor, where Rhino fell off the wagon and started drinking, leading to his downfall against James Storm. There was also the debut of Dustin Runnels' new gimmick, Black Rain, wearing an ill-fitting black outfit that made him look like he was 360 pounds and looked like a poorly made Halloween costume. So, we're starting off strong, baby.
Yeah.
So let's get into the matches. First up, there was no pre-show. Start with that. But Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt won a three-way over Christopher Daniels and Senshi and Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley in 15 minutes 37 seconds. Lethal opened doing a rolling clothesline as a tribute to Conan. This match started a little too choreographed looking, but built to the best match on the show. The big spot was Daniels getting Dutt into the torture rack since she came off the top rope with the double foot stomp onto Dutt in the midair. And then the same move did a second jump with a double foot stomp on Shelley. Daniels then gave Dutt basically an FU onto Shelley. The crowd went nuts for this sequence, with many at ringside dancing. That's a funny way to describe it. After all sorts of big moves, Lethal pinned Daniels with a small package. They put over how Lethal had pinned the number one contender, so who is the number one contender now? Daniels went nuts after losing. He gave this match 3.5 stars, and me and Bob both also gave it 3.5 stars.
I thought they said Lethal was the number one contender.
We may have misheard that when we were watching, because
Okay.
I do think Daniels actually is the number one contender from the last show. And so they probably were like, he pinned the number one contender, so we probably thought they said as we were talking. So
okay.
that definitely could have been a miscue on our part.
Yeah. Okay.
The second match on the show, Kaz pinned Raven in 5 minutes 35 seconds. It was essentially a 3-on-1 handicap match. This was also a good match, with Kaz getting rid of Havoc with a spectacular springboard Hurricane Rana on Havoc, who was on the apron and flipped onto the floor. In ring, Kaz escaped Raven's even flow DDT, knocked Martyr off the apron, and then pinned him after a drop kick. Gives this match 2.25, and me and Bob both give this 1.5. So we did not like it as much as he did. Up next, it was the barroom brawl. James Storm pinned Rhino in a street fight in 12 minutes 50 seconds. Now, I'm going to just scroll up really quick because there's a separate note I want to say before we kind of dive into the match on this one. And Bob, if you remember correctly, very, very early in the match, Rhino started throwing shit. And he threw a chair into the crowd. And Alvarez has a separate note about this, where he notes, regarding the Rhino chair throwing incident, apparently he slipped when he threw it, and it went into the crowd. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. He also threw a drink at a fan during the match, and he notes that TNA is opening itself up to some problems here. That they have the belief that people love it when the wrestlers soak them with drinks, or when they get their knees smashed in by the guardrail when wrestlers crash into it, or when wrestlers actually fall into their laps. But if someone gets crushed, they run out there and give them merchandise or whatever, and then their life goes on. Now, according to one source, they put a sign near the entrance that warns you that you are entering the impact zone at your own risk.
Here's the thing: any decent lawyer could just be like, "Yeah, sure, risk," but like bodily harm for an entertainment show, I don't think we're anticipating that.
Yeah, probably not. But the sign probably protects them more than you think, too. Though it's kind of a double-edged thing there.
I mean, you would maybe be surprised how that doesn't.
Oh, does Bob secretly want a case?
No, but I'm just saying. I mean, you could watch. I remember watching.
Bob's loaded. He's loaded.
I've watched a documentary before, like amusement parks, and they're like, "Oh, there's the risk of this," and they're like, "Yeah, but when my son gets murdered on your ride, that piece of paper means nothing. You didn't do any due diligence." the safety concerns, whatever the case is. So if I were to go to a wrestling show, and it's also within reason, if I were to go to a wrestling show,
and you were murdered,
well, no, but if I was in the crowd, and let's say I'm in the upper deck, the bleacher seats,
mm-hmm.
and Rhino tosses a chair and hits me in the head, is it reasonable to suggest that in the bleachers I should be safe?
I feel like yeah.
I feel like yeah. Now, if I was at ringside, okay, keep an eye. It's like a baseball stadium, you know. That's why they put the nets up, because they were getting sued because people were getting hit with the ball. Now, logically, you go into a baseball stadium, you're like, okay, I could maybe get hit with a ball, right? And you could put up signs saying, "Watch out for foul balls." That doesn't excuse the fact that, hey, you're liable for my injuries.
Watch out for the balls.
So they throw a chair into the crowd. Is it necessary for the show?
Right.
It's an unreasonable thought to be like, you should anticipate a chair or whatever the case being thrown at you. You're not part of the show in that manner. So TNA or any promotion for that matter could face a shit ton of problems should a wrestling fan want any kind of litigation about that. That's crazy.
I think if I got hit with a chair, okay, let's say I'm sitting in the crowd and I get hit by a chair and they run out and they're like, "Yo, do you want this t-shirt and this hat?"
Oh, you'd be like, "Yeah, no problem, guys."
I'd say, "Yeah, but can I also go meet Kurt Angle backstage real quick?"
Right.
You gotta milk it. You gotta milk it a little. Now, if I got like really hurt, that's a different story. If it just banged my knee a little bit, I'll take the t-shirt and the hat, but I'd like to meet Kurt Angle, please.
No, this is what would happen for Dallas, guys. If Dallas were to be sitting, well, you know what, Dallas is a snob, so he'd be in the front row. We would have been there for about 48 hours waiting for seats.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the front row. So let's say that Rhino slipped and Dallas got hit with a chair. They run over to him. And they're, hey, buddy, are you okay? Are you okay? Dallas would sit there and be like, you know, my eyesight in my left eye is like diminishing. Like I can't see like anything. And
everything's blurry.
Yeah, I'd be like, I can't really see. I had 20/20 vision, and now it's all like, what's going on? My head hurts really bad. And they would be like, hey, buddy, what if we gave you TNA's Best of the X Division DVD wrapped, still in the package,
wrapped up?
Dallas would be like, don't worry about it. Just sign this waiver. You'd be like, sure, no problem. You would sign the waiver, and then you'd be like, can I meet Kurt? And they'd be like, sorry, buddy, he already left.
You signed the waiver, sorry.
And you signed the waiver, so there's no legal obligation for us to even bother with this. And by the way, that DVD only can play on DVD players that work in the United Kingdom. God bless. Have a great night.
Just totally screw me.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty wild. Maybe. You never know. Anyway, back to the match. So it went 12 minutes, 50 seconds. Dave notes he wants to know if TNA realizes how cheesy the props for their stipulation matches just make them come across as so Bush League. Now, again, here are two guys that you can count on to deliver. And they did, but the environment made it seem minor league. You had a bar table, bar stools, and a toilet seat set up on the floor. Now, the story...
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't like that.
No, you're right. The story of I actually kind of forgot there was a toilet, which is funny because I just don't know. I just totally forgot. The story of the match here is that with all of the beer and all the alcohol on the table, Rhino, who is portrayed as an alcoholic, costing him his family, and that his father was an alcoholic, which has all been pushed in promos, well, he started drinking again.
He fucking relapsed, dude.
Right. He poured the beer on Jackie Moore. The idea is that Rhino drank so much that it started to affect him in the match.
Oh, my God.
Honestly, you wouldn't have figured that out if the announcers hadn't told you, because Rhino basically did his usual intense style. And I'll just note there, I don't think I realized that, and I don't remember hearing him say it, probably because we were talking, but we joked that he was relapsed stuff, but I don't think I realized it was affecting him in the match. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't think I read into it like that. I kind of just took it as he snaps and he relapse. I didn't take it as he's had alcohol, now he's drunk and it's impacting his ability to compete. First of all, his tolerance for alcohol, I would imagine, unless he's like not had it, but I mean, I don't know what the exact storytelling is here. If he hasn't had alcohol, I mean, historically he got fired from WWE because of a drunken rampage he had at a hotel in 2005, I believe it was. So if it's like his alcoholism or whatever, his tolerance though for alcohol, I would imagine would be more than like 3 swigs of a bottle.
That half of it barely went into his mouth, for the record.
Right, before he would even get a buzz. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. At one point in this match, Rhino put Storm's head into the toilet, and then Rhino sat on the toilet, which I couldn't understand given that he was wearing his ring outfit. So what was the point? I don't know. I probably just wanted to sit down, I guess. But Rhino missed a gore and then went through a table. The match ended with 5 garbage can shots, a chair shot to the head, and one-man concerto, and finally a beer bottle to the head by Storm for the pin. Dave Meltzer gives this 2 2.75 stars, and me and Bob both gave it 2.5 stars, so not too far off, really.
Yeah.
We can't forget that during the show there was a new, as Dave likes to describe her, the new blonde interview woman named Crystal, and on her first show, he says that she was already worlds better than Letitia was. Killings did the first promo, which was a heel promo on Jones. We kind of talked about that already. Then next up...
Why is he throwing shade at Letitia?
He does not think Letitia is good even a little bit.
Is she gone?
I don't know. That I'm really wondering. If so, that's kind of hilarious because recently we just read that she was like this, the Playboy like girl next door thing, and they put TNA the name on the issue. So,
they did.
There's no logo, but it says like if you type in Letitia Klein, girl next door or whatever, the cover has TNA written with it.
Oh, so you did some research.
I did research. I did not look at the insides. Of course, I'm a professional when I do my research, but.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't look at her insides. I would hope you would get to
know it. Okay, we're just going to keep going. LAX defeated VKM in 5 minutes and 4 seconds. Dave says, bad match. LAX glared at Hector Guerrero before the match. The match was supposed to be a double turn as VKM started working a heel style. This I can't wait to hear your reaction. He notes that Kip was wearing Candice Michelle pants.
Oh my god, that is so true.
Which made him look ridiculous, of course.
Yeah.
The first finish saw Roxy Laveau, the Voodoo Queen gimmick that just doesn't work at all, throw powder into Hernandez's eyes as he had BG up for the border toss. Kip then used the Famouser, which looked botched, on him and got the pin. Then Guerrero hit the ring and showed the ref that there was powder on the ground, and he said Laveau did it. He restarted the match and Homicide pinned Kip. 12 seconds later, with a front-rolling cradle, he gives this match 3/4 of a star. And I gave it 1 star, and Bob gave it half a star.
Yeah, so it almost felt like as if Kip was trying to revert back to the Billy and Chuck days.
Yeah.
And it was pretty weird. He's going through, like, it feels like an identity crisis. He doesn't know what he's...
I feel like his entire TNA run has been that, though, to be honest. Like, what can he be besides Mr. Ass? And he cannot figure it out. The whole thing has been that way.
Well, when he first came in, remember, I was like, he should just be called Nin.
Because the shirt he had on.
No introduction needed, just Nin.
I think that could have worked, honestly.
I think it would be fine.
The next match, Robert Roode pinned Eric Young in the Ultimate Humiliation match in 9 minutes 25 seconds. Ms. Brooks distracted Young to give Roode the early advantage. Now, eventually, Roode used a blockbuster off the middle rope for a near fall. The match ended when Brooks gave Roode the brass knucks. He hit Young with them and pinned him. Now, by the steps, Young had to be tarred and feathered, but Gail Kim came running out and went after Brooks. Brooks held her and Roode went to punch her, but Kim moved and Roode knocked out Ms. Brooks. Young chased Roode away and Roode just watched from afar without helping, and Kim and Young Tarred and Feathered Ms. Brooks. He gives this match 2 stars. Me and Bob both give this one 1 star.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of incredible when you really look at these star ratings. It shows you, I think, how much wrestling has evolved. That just if you look at AEW, just for example, like we are spoiled with so much of that any a match that got 2 stars in 2007, we're probably like, oh, that's horrible. Like that's not that good,
right?
Or most matches where it's like, oh, hey, that's 3 stars in 2007, sure, but now like in 2025, it might be like 2, just because like we were so spoiled with like all these big spots all the time, and they don't really let anything breathe or whatever the case is. We're just programmed to expect a little different. So when we go back and watch something from 18 years ago, we're like really numb to like that style, I think.
I think that's fair to say, yeah.
Now, I don't know why I'm using it as an example for Eric Young and Robert Roode, but I'm just saying.
Well, we're also really sick of seeing them 2 fight on pay-per-view, so there's also that.
But I think like the X Division match earlier in the show, like that held up because it's similar
style.
Similar style to today. That is so like, oh, well, we like that. We want to see more of that.
Right. Well, the next match, I don't think is going to hold up at any point in time. And that's when Chris Harris defeated Black Reign via disqualification in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Dave says the opening was ridiculous. Harris was looking at the entrance, but Black Reign came from the other side. Somehow, Harris had to avoid the idea that he could hear the crowd screaming that Dustin Rhodes was behind him, and then he got attacked. The Black Reign costume was an embarrassment. He wore a long black wig, but took it off, and he had his face painted. The whole match was Black Reign beating on Harris. Harris bled after being hit by handcuffs. Reign clotheslined referee Andrew Thomas. He teased doing the Shattered Dreams, but didn't do it, and actually, that works psychologically in that he was booed for it. He instead did an Ace Crusher, and Reigns shoved down referee Earl Hebner for the disqualification. The post-match saw him handcuff Harris to the ropes, and then he pulled out a hatchet with a sharp blade and hit Harris in the head with it. This match didn't work. He gives this one 1/2 a star, and me and Bob both also gave it 1/2 a star.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was never designed to be a good match. It's just to get Black Reign over. I'm sure these two will wrestle again. I'm assuming No Surrender, I think, is the September show.
I'd have to assume.
I'm sure that's where they're going to continue on.
They might keep wrestling, and they might just take everything that Harris has got out of him. Who knows? Time will tell, I guess.
I mean, it is kind of disappointing to see from Sacrifice, and then, like, he was in King of the Mountain as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we've gone from there, and we're just, he loses to Christian Cage, which is not anything to sneeze at, but we're going down. But now we're at Black Reign. And you look at James Storm, who had lost at Sacrifice, which obviously is a maybe match of the year for pay-per-view for us right now, or just in general. Who knows? We'll have to go back and look at it. But he loses the Harris there. Then he's got the Frank Wycheck deal, and now he's in a heated feud with Rhino. Like, it's an example where winning the big match doesn't necessarily help you.
Oh, it's true,
It could be a detriment. That could be your peak.
I think that we will be coming to a time and a place soon enough where we'll have to dissect that a lot further. I think too, because it's really interesting, but time will tell. The next match, Rick and Scott Steiner defeated Team 3D in that dream match. The dream match in 11 minutes and 1 second. I'm going to absolutely butcher this name real quick, but if you remember backstage, the Steiners were doing the pre-match promo, and there was a Japanese wrestler with them. I have his name, and I'm going to say it so poorly right now that no one will even know who I'm talking about, even if you do know who he is. And I should have looked up how to say this better. Kohai Suwama of All Japan. Now you're probably wondering, well, why the hell was he with them in the promo? Well, that's because him and Scott Steiner are going to be actually doing a tag team match in All Japan at Sumo Hall on August 26th. So I think it must have been sort of like a little deal to kind of get him with his partner, probably so they could show it in Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw this name, and before I looked him up on Cage Match. He's been a main guy in All Japan for ever, his entire career. As of 2025, or maybe even late last year, he had an office job and he left. My friend, who's a huge Japanese wrestling fan, said, they said, if he leaves, then you know it's bad, and then he left. So apparently it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, he's still active. He's still wrestling today. He's starting a new company in Japan. I think it's called Evolution, if I'm remembering correctly. I was learning all sorts of stuff about this guy. So I thought it was kind of cool. But if you don't know how I said his name wrong, just look up tag team matches with Japan with Scott Steiner, and maybe you'll find it.
Inappropriately, yeah. That would be
No, I didn't mean it. Yeah.
I know.
Anyways, Dave says that the match wasn't good, as far as a lot of the Steiner's offense looking bad, and they can't do much but suplex. Yeah. Plus, Ray is so heavy that they didn't throw him well, and he took some nasty falls because of them. However, the face versus heel dynamic worked great. The fans just hate 3D and like Scott, so the match had great heat and worked live. The big spot was Scott doing the Frankensteiner off the top rope on Brother Devon. I believe before the match, Don West made a comment about Scott being hurt, so he probably couldn't do it, so he did it. Scott pinned Devon after Rick came off the top with the Sky High Bulldog. He gives this match 2 stars. And let's see. I gave it 1 star, and Bob gave it 1.5.
Oh, I actually liked the match more than you did?
Yeah. And I wish I could remember why. We're not going to talk a lot about we already talked about the Pacman Jones Ron Killing segment. I'll just note that Mike Tenay was in the ring to interview him, and Dave says, I guess because they needed a safety net. Of course, they had the police people tackle Killings and all this stuff that ended up going to the cutaway. Killing said all sorts of stuff to him, and as we know, Pacman Jones showed 0 charisma while he was in the ring.
Yeah.
And he tried to get Killings to come in the ring, and then it just didn't work out. Next up was the Doomsday Chamber of Blood match, where Abyss, Andrew Martin, who is Test if you weren't aware of that, and Sting defeated Christian Cage, Tomko, and AJ Styles in 10 minutes, 13 seconds. Now, the rules here were that it was a cage match with barbed wire on the top of the cage so that you couldn't escape over the top, and you couldn't end the match by beating someone unless that person had bled first. And whoever scored the pin in the match would get the title shot at No Surrender against the winner of the main event. So if that's not enough rules and stipulations for you for one match, I don't know what to tell you. As you would have guessed, Dave says that the match suffered from overkill. They've done the broken glass on the mat spot so many times that people were numb to it. They also did way too much in the way of weapon spots underneath. Sting hit Tomko with a chair and he bled first, so he was the first guy bleeding. Now, eventually, in the match, Christian used the glass to cut up Abyss's head and arms. It was actually very disgusting. The crowd was dead for all of this. Sting finally got in and did the facebuster on Styles off the top rope. At one point, Tomko gave Abyss a 3-slam, and Styles followed with a frog splash on him, but Abyss kicked out. Christian put the broken glass all over the mat, and then the finish was Abyss using a black hole slam on Christian onto the broken glass for the pin. Dave Meltzer gives this one 1 star. I gave it 2 stars, and Bob gave it 1.5.
Sounds about
right. Next up, well, I should say, finally, for the pay-per-view, and then I do have a couple other things we're going to talk about before we get into the show, but Kurt Angle defeated Samoa Joe in 18 minutes, 30 seconds in a match where Angle put up the IWGP and TNA title, and Joe put up the tag team and the X Division titles. Kurt Angle came out to the ring all depressed and crying. Karen was ringside with the new man in her life while Kurt was moping around. And the finish saw Angle deck the ref. Joe put on the choke, and Angle was tapping, but there's no referee. So Karen came ringside holding the chair with the referee down. We already talked about this swerve. She threw it in, gave it to Kurt, who cracked Joe in the head with it and got the pin. Karen and the new man in her life. I like how he used to write it out the whole thing. They all celebrated together at the end. And Dave Meltzer gives this one 3.25 stars. And me and Bob both gave this one 3 stars. And
okay, so we didn't misread that. That's the lesser of, I think, all their matches, right?
I'm pretty sure. I'd have to really go back, but I'm like pretty positive.
Okay.
So that about does it for Hard Justice. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Any final thoughts before we move on, Bob?
I don't know, man. I mean,
Gonna watch it again soon?
no, I will not. I can't imagine I would. I'm kind of dreading Kurt having all the titles because like it's gonna be total
Oh yeah.
nonstop angle, and that's where when you overexpose somebody, especially I mean, no matter what, main event guy, whatever the case is, uh, people can kind of tune out. You know what I mean? Like if you're just pushing and pushing and pushing, and
Yep.
now he has every title. There's potential here that he might wrestle more than once on shows.
Oh boy.
What are all these guys fighting for? And then one guy has all the titles. I mean, it's a whole thing. So I don't know. And I'm kind of dreading that. I feel like they should not have put all the titles on one guy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and just can't wait to see that develop.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a few things for you before we get into the show, only because this is just too much to try to talk about in between matches. Some potential bad news for TNA. So with all of the this time the steroid talk about wrestling after the murder suicide with the Benoit family, there's a lot of stuff going on. Wrestling is getting targeted. We've talked about it a little bit. Well, now at this point in time, on August 13th, the U.S. House of Representatives Subcommittee on Commerce, Trade and Consumer Protection sent letters to both Dixie Carter, who is the president of TNA Wrestling, and to Bob Trobish, the executive director of the National Wrestling Alliance. Now, the letters were identical and asked if either company had any form of a drug testing program. In case of the NWA, it would be pretty hard to administer a program when the alliance consists of small independent promoters around the world. TNA could, and it has obviously been an issue talked about internally since the death of Chris Benoit. Now, the letter was signed by Bobby Rush, who's the chairman of the committee, and Cliff Stearns, the highest-ranking Republican on the committee, noted that WWE had implemented a talent wellness program last year. Both letters asked for the companies to get back in writing by August 28th as to whether they have adopted a similar policy. They have asked for a copy of a program if one exists, as well as any other relevant records, the specifics of the program, and implementation of the program. They also asked to describe any and all actions either the NWA or TNA has taken, either within or outside such a program, to detect and prevent steroid abuse. They asked the number of random tests each company has done over the past year. At press time, Ring of Honor had not received such a letter. And he says, just two more lines on this one. Because of the nature of the NWA, one would think they should be below the radar as they don't run enough shows to even have people as full-time wrestlers. They are getting a national television deal of sorts starting in a few weeks and a small channel exclusive to the Dish Network. But TNA, on the other hand, is likely to be pressured by the letter to take action. That opens up a can of worms for the company with far less talent depth than on top than WWE, to where drug suspension or of a key guy will take a bigger chunk out of the show. And he kind of goes into a little bit more about this, but not necessarily specifically TNA related. But it is a pretty interesting little tidbit there that's happening. So there's that. We'll find out if they've implemented drug policy, I guess. Okay.
How do you feel about steroids? Do you think that they should just be able to use it, or should they not?
I feel like, now I'm not a scientist. I don't know really the true effects of some of this stuff, but wrestling, which is athletic, but is also a showman sport, and I don't feel like it should matter that much.
I don't think it should matter either.
I feel
It's a predetermined entertainment.
I now if there's like truly this correlation that it makes you go fucking crazy, which it's the brain injuries that's doing that kind of stuff more. I feel like that's a different situation, but to me, I from what I understand and what I've heard and people's opinion is like, I don't know. I feel like if, like you said, it's predetermined. It's not actually a true competition. but these guys got to look like stars, look good, and stuff like that. Do I think people should get pressured into it? No. But if they want to, like, well, I guess really, what's the difference?
I think that they should just get a prescription and have it be handled with a doctor.
And there's a difference between use and abuse. So there's that too. So
Correct.
There's also that. Keeping that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more things for you, Bob, and then we're going to get into the show. And I have a few small things we'll talk about during the show. One of which is just our normal ratings that we do. So the Go Home show, we mentioned that it did a 0.99 rating, but it got 1.3 million viewers on August 9th. It did a 0.86 in males 18 to 34 and a 0.68 in males 35 to 49. I have quarter hours, which is always fun. The Pacman Jones segment was the first quarter that did a 1.10, which is a decent first quarter. However, Raven and Storm and Rude versus Kaz, Young, and Harris, that was that Clockwork Orange House of Fun match, lost 249,000 viewers, which is bad for TNA. And then worse, Kip James teaming up with Brother Devon versus Rick Steiner and Homicide lost another 92,000 viewers. The final segment with Joe and Kurt Angle with Karen Angle and a Team 3D beatdown of Joe at the end gained 223,000 viewers. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
How you can get that information, but yeah.
Wow.
And then my final note for you, I kind of mentioned it a little bit in the pay-per-view notes, but the TV contract for next season is in the process of final negotiations. It should be signed imminently, and likely at that point, the 2-hour show will be announced. The start date would likely be somewhere in the neighborhood of late September or early October. UFC moves from Thursday on September 20th, giving them the open hour. The actual current contract expires on September 30th, and October 4th would be the first Thursday under a new deal. Now, as mentioned before, the plan is to do tapings every Monday and Tuesday, as opposed to going live or taping weekly. With the start of the what is this saying? With the start of the art being what it is, I don't know what that's supposed to say, but I'd at least consider the live aspect. But right now, that's not being talked about. There are specials of some form believed to be in the new contract, according to the multi-channel news. Now, TNA is in internal talks about drug testing, I think probably relating to all of this. Now, it's not at the level of what form it will be, but there seems to be the feeling that with the Congress looking at wrestling, they need to have a plan in place, most likely going to fall on Dixie Carter's lap. If not Jeff Jarrett's decision, although Jarrett will have impact. It's a tough call for TNA, just like WWE, because they are prepared if someone tests positive a week before a pay-per-view to pull them from the show, particularly if it's one of the top guys. So he kind of has that all flowed into one. But 2 hours is coming. Drug test stuff is coming. Shit's going down, Bob.
Yeah, it looks like we're facing another new era of TNA, which seems to happen at this rate every about 5-6 months. All right, let's get into the first show here post Hard Justice. It's the August 16th, 2007 edition of TNA Impact. If you want to watch along with us, you can head over to the TNA Plus app, or you can find it in your own personal collection. That will do the trick as well. I'm going to count down from 3. And when I say play, that is when the live watch will begin. The approximate runtime, for our version, is 42 minutes and 55 seconds. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
TNA, we are wrestling. You know, the normal intro I say every single time. Oh, mine's loud. Let me turn this down. We're showing the first highlight we show is the ultimate humiliation. That's pretty funny.
I'm surprised they're showing. I mean, they're just showing for the full footage here, full clips.
I love that we're getting someone's DirecTV DVR bar at the bottom of our version here.
What if that was on TNA Plus, like somebody's DVR?
I honestly, would it really put it past them? I would not be surprised. Yes, Abyss is the more contender. There's Pacman. Oh, I didn't realize how close he did get to hitting him right there.
Now, he did get laid out, but that was off camera.
Yeah. Look, the new man in her life. I hope that he's on screen with Kurt and Karen now.
I doubt it.
I want him to be, and then it's like Kurt and Karen with the new man in his life.
Oh my god.
What is this? Red carpet laid out. Jeremy Borash outside the Impact Zone. The first ever annual Angle Awards. Honk if you love Pacman. Eric Young is wearing this shirt, poor guy.
Oh my god.
Pacman's going to be here. I'm going to be the first to get his autograph, he says. He's a hero to me and my uncle Cleo, who was a quarterback in the CFL, he said.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Kurt. They're booing him. So now they're trying to use Eric Young to help put over Pacman.
I was just gonna say, like, they're really trying to drive home him as a babyface, and it's just not how you just don't do that.
When does forcing that on anything ever work in wrestling?
Yeah, it literally never does. It literally never.
Yes, Karen and him played the fans like the idiots they are. After we're done with this talking segment, Bob, I'll give you our Explosion matches from this taping as well, because we are at a new taping, which means 2 new episodes of Explosion were taped as well. Man, it's great to be Kurt Angle. Cha-ching. It's good. Glad to know we still got heroes like Pacman Jones, Eric Young says.
Yeah.
Okay, here's our regular intro.
Sure,
okay, so
hero.
Explosion number 201 that was taped on this show, August 13th, 2007. It airs on August 20th, 2007. We saw Homicide defeat Senshi. And then the next episode that airs on August 27th, we had Pete Williams and Shark Boy. This is odd. Defeating the Motor City Machine Guns. That's a weird one.
They have to have heat. The guns.
Kind of weird. I don't like it.
You know what? They also probably don't put much thought into Explosion.
No, you're right.
Watches it.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's probably the better answer here.
Yeah.
The first ever annual Angle Awards happened tonight. How many years in a row do you think they ended up doing those, Bob?
I'm going to say just one.
Just one annual?
Yeah.
Oh, God, we're going into a media frenzy about Pacman Jones. Just the very mention of his name evokes a ray of emotion. I wonder if they're going to show that they're not necessarily good feedback. What's this about? He's wrestling. And then we see Jarrett and Pacman. The next couple months are going to see a whole new side of Adam. It rocked the world. We're doing a whole video about this, huh?
It's just so dumb.
I wasn't really going to mention this, but I guess since we're showing all just this stuff here, Jarrett does do an interview with Alex Marvez on why they brought in Pacman, and he says, our business is built on conflict and controversy and larger-than-life personalities, and the man has got all three. And then Dixie Carter tries to say that she believes that Jones is trying to make his life better, and that wrestling was the avenue towards that. And there's a huge quote there as Pacman's about to come out here. Mike Tenay just introduced him into the Impact Zone.
There's just no logical way that he's ever drawing money for TNA.
Look, there's him learning all the moves, dude. And the slam in the video. Well, Jarrett also says in this interview, for the words TNA to be mentioned 4 or 5 days straight on every national outlet, that's a positive. We've gotten mainstream press we've never gotten before. It already has succeeded. There's more people today that have heard of the name TNA Wrestling than at this time last week. So he's already considering it a very big positive that this is happening.
Okay, so unfortunately, that all very well may be true, but do these people tune in to the program? These new people that have heard about it, do they actually watch the show? Are our ratings going to go from a 1.3 million to a 2.3 million? I unfortunately don't think that's going to happen.
I was gonna say you never know, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
Look at the way he just looking at Mike Tenay in the back like that. Was he about to like hit him?
He might. You never know.
Is he gonna throw $81,000 in the air and tell him to take off his suit?
He shook his hand. Babyface.
Oh my god! It immediately, as soon as the music stops, the booze rolling.
That is brilliant.
I can't believe they didn't try to edit that. But we're showing the same like media pictures on screen. The minute you called yourself you're the greatest team sport athlete, but Ron Killings took exception with that. Special security. Security that was mandated because of his contract situation was forced to separate. That's why we had, quote, police guys here. They just had t-shirts on that said police. In hindsight, that is kind of hilarious. And now, like 4 days later, he's just here in the ring normal again. You were in the hospital like a couple days ago, but
I didn't even think of that. And there's no neck brace or anything.
no. He mouthed off at him at the interview. He talked trash when he came out. Where I'm from, we don't play it like that. It's going to be face-to-face, man-to-man. And he ain't going to bring it. Don't sing it. And then Ron Killing's music hits. Mike Tenay looks like he wants to be nowhere near this.
I don't blame him at all.
No, it's because he's scared, not because he thinks it's a bad idea.
Right.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? You could be like this. You could be like
Oh,
that.
Pacman saying what's up now. What's up?
He doesn't know Ron's gimmick.
I mean, honestly, he probably doesn't.
Oh, he's taking off his shirt.
It is funny because Killings is significantly bigger than he is.
He sure is.
Like muscle-wise. Problem isn't with me. When I came out here and had a problem with you, when I got beef, I eat it. I ain't gonna sneak attack you. I want you to see me coming. Oh, he did his own research on Adam Pacman Jones. What do you think the top 3 results said? Oh. You and I are pretty much birds of a feather, whether you like it or not. Look at the crowd's like, no, no. Don't worry about these people, dog. Pacman's telling him not to touch him. You came up from nothing. You started with nothing. And you made something.
I'm so confused right now. Wasn't Ron pissed?
Yeah.
About Pet, but now he's all like, we're from the same cloth?
Yeah, because he did research. Why would I try to make history with you and all the trash talking you have? You had to make me go to the emergency room. The crowd shitting all over this. And they ain't editing it. They cut to the fans being like, no, no. If we're going to be teammates and be down, we got to be down like 4 flat tires. You can trust that because that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the...
Well, they didn't say the truth. They just yelled.
They kind of booed. Yeah. Ah! This is making me miss 3 Live Crew, and I haven't missed them in a long time. If 3 Live Crew was happening, Bob, we wouldn't have VKM. We wouldn't have to deal with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Ron is saying that this is incredible. So
they're just walking out together?
Yeah, they're gonna find out who attacked them and get revenge there. And then they're gonna walk and go talk to Jim Cornette, and Pacman is just like, okay.
Bizarre. Wait. Here comes Showtime Eric Young.
Hey, he wants to be your friend. He's like, yeah, we're cool. He wants an autograph. Pacman doesn't look all that interested.
You have to sign it. You're a babyface.
Right. What?
Okay, so they're not going to be a babyface team because Killings just turned them. They turned around to sign the back, and then Killings clobbered Eric Young from behind.
Yes, that's a heel turn then.
Yeah. Oh shit. Wait, is that Letitia?
That's Letitia.
She's here still then, and that's Matt Morgan, who I also forgot about.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what is Senshi wearing? Oh, Under Armour. Okay, I thought it was a whole body thing. Wait a second. They're saying that Jay Lethal does have the title shot and no surrender, and so Christopher Daniels just came in and he's pissed. Oh, okay. Well, we're doing a match tonight. Winner is the number one contender.
Huh.
Okay, well.
I mean, I don't hate that.
No, I think that's fine. I like it. Oh, Christian Cage is here now with Tom Cone Styles. Cornette just sat down and now he's going to get up again. I like that. Champ is moving on to bigger and better things. That's just the way it is. You can book me in all the First Blood matches that you want. I have so many lawyers that they'll be in here faster than your hair can spin. Oh, you don't want the world title shot? Okay, fine. Cornette's going to mark it down for him. Jim, what are you talking about? Oh. Abyss is willing to put up the title shot that he just won in the First Blood match against Christian. Christian's like, you're not talking about the World Heavyweight Championship, are you? I'm not going to screw around about that.
So all the number one contenders are putting their stuff on the line. Except for the tag, because we don't have that.
Correct. Fuck yes. I told you.
Oh, he is still there. Family friend.
A family friend just making out with the wife backstage.
Why don't they give these people actual names? We have the female companion. Now we have a family friend.
Oh, Karen has an order of protection. Her demeanor has immediately changed now that she's a heel.
Yep.
You can tell she's way more confident talking. She played that part good then. She played that part so good.
When she turned around and said that everybody's talking about me, it gave me Kimberly Page vibes. When she was all about like, it's all about me. I'll tell you right now, she is performing significantly better than what Kimberly Page did as a heel.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's hard to be humble when you're an angle. Bob, does the bald guy remind you of anyone in particular? Mostly just because he's bald?
No.
Like, let's say you put him in a dress, maybe?
I'm in a dress.
I'm trying to lead into my note. It's not working. Vito was backstage at... Vito was backstage at Hard's Justice, and according to Brian Alvarez, was surgically attached to Russo's hip all night. And since they've been friends dating all the way back to the early 90s, Alvarez says, I'd be stunned if he didn't have a job within the next few months.
Could you imagine Vito in here in 2007?
No. In 2003, yes.
Well, he got there in 04.
Oh yeah, he was there. See what I mean?
Yeah, for like, I don't even know, like 5 weeks or something like that.
Dude, I totally fucking forgot. See, that's what I mean. Asylum was a wild time, guys. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I just don't know what he would do in 2007.
Nothing.
You don't think he'd do the dress wearing thing?
No. Well,
he could. I mean, I feel like that's something Russo would love.
He would love it, and it would probably still get him over. Hate to say it.
Yeah, you're right. Probably would.
Lethal's coming out with Dutt in his corner, and Daniels has both members of Triple X in his corner, by the way.
I'm acting as if I don't like Big Vito. I actually do like Vito.
I don't really feel like I care for him, but I haven't watched a lot of WCW Pro, probably enough to.
Well, he wasn't in the company when
Damn
WCW
it.
Pro was a show.
Okay, I haven't watched Worldwide.
All right, there was Worldwide technically in 2000. Yeah.
See,
You don't like the Mama Lukes? Give me a break.
I mean, they're fine. Back body drop to Lethal, who has not even taken his jacket off yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's getting off. Hey, you can get a free week of TNA Mobile, by the way. And I'm guessing the number is 76,000 if you want to text them.
It is. Look at
that. But I have another random note for you because I don't know when else I'm going to say it. But apparently, the band that did the old X-Pac and DX ring music from the late 90s has signed a deal to do music in TNA.
Is that the band that was like, yeah, X-Pac?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one.
You can tell us what to do, yeah.
Whose name? I bet you I can just type in and find out for you. D-Generation X Band.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know who that could be. That's not the same band that sang at WrestleMania 14. That was like
yes. Oh, the DX band. The DX band.
That's not their name.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, Christopher P. Warren was the musician who performed. Look at the Bound for Glory live tour. Oh, New York State Fair in Syracuse. I went there. Can't wait to talk about that now.
You're telling me that their band name was the DX band?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait. This is the DX band, sometimes referred to as the Chris Warren band. They did My Time. They did Break It Down.
They did My Time?
Yeah. They were also known as Brokin. Bro-Kin. Now, I'm just going to give you the spoiler because I'm too excited to wait. According to this note here in Wikipedia, they signed this in July 2007. Warren and Brokin signed an agreement with TNA, which involved the band's use on TNA's TV shows, pay-per-views, and DVDs worldwide. Their song Low was used for the No Surrender 2007 theme, so we'll be hearing that soon.
We'll hear that.
For Genesis 2007, for the No Surrender's song is called Separate. Genesis 2007 for The Vein, and Final Resolution in January 2008. I got those out of order. Low was No Surrender, Separate was Genesis, and For The Vein is Final Resolution 2008. Further cuts of other songs appeared and continue to do so on various TNA video packages.
Well, that's interesting.
And then he died in 2016.
I wasn't expecting that development.
Well, there you go. Look, big, nice high knee by Lethal. Look at this. Hangs Daniels over the top rope.
Double sledge. 1, 2. Oh, Daniels kicks out.
He also returned to do new vocals for the DX song in 2009.
I'm stunned that the guy that sang horribly and got booed at WrestleMania 14 did so much more.
Angel's Wings? Holy shit, what a counter by Jay Lethal. He spun around to the Hurricane Rana. I've never seen the Angel Wing countered like that. Just keep shaking his little tambourine rings hide. It's hilarious. Lethal point Evans. Literally. He's going for a high-risk move. Is he going to hit that elbow? Nope. Elix Skipper grabs the referee, and Senshi holds the foot, allows Daniels to take advantage. Uh-oh. Crosses the arms. Oh, shit. Slams him down. Kick out at 2. Why are the lights going off? There's like weird arena lights.
By a production error.
They thought he was gonna get the win. Oh shit! Senshi with a friggin' dragon sleeper, but Dutt was able to break that up. He was over the top rope, by the way, with lethal. Daniels throws Sanjay against the ropes, comes back, huge dive, takes out both members of Triple X, but now Daniels is distracted. Lethal combination.
Combination. 1, 2. Oh, he
There we
won
go.
with it.
Wow, our official number 1 contender for No Surrender,
Yeah,
Jay
how does he
Lethal.
win with that?
Wow.
All right, so Kurt Angle will be beating Jay Lethal at No Surrender. That'll be fun.
I don't know.
You don't know what?
I think he's gonna win. Oh shit, we're back at the red carpet. Kevin Nash is here. Dr. Kevin Nash. Awards are great. Feeling really honored to be here tonight.
Herman Snuff film.
It's been amazing seeing you guys. Dr. Nash. Oh. It looked like Karen was looking you in the eyes and there's a connection. She's a great actress, he says. You want to talk about Kurt in those red briefs? Was he wearing a cup? Let's talk about that. You're not really a doctor, though, Nash. He's 4 hours away from his OBGYN. Jesus. Oh. Pacman Jones and Ron Killings in the office of Jim Cornette. You know who I am. I'm Pacman Jones. Imagine this. Hi, Adam. Pacman Jisms is tag champs. I don't know about that.
I mean, I would only allow this if Kurt Angle can put him in an ankle lock.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that. First of all, kick your dog, I kick your cat. Team Pacman. I can take care of that. He's just talking a lot of mumbo jumbo here. You need to book this match, he says. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Which one you want? Oh, they just pushed Matt Morgan in here. Pacman says, what the hell are you?
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Hey, Matt, could you show these gentlemen where to find the parking lot?
All Pacman can do is just stare into people's faces. You can't do anything.
It's so lame, dude. Oh, here comes Kurt Angle.
Go to, I think that was just an ad on the bottom saying go to Spike TV's website to watch an exclusive Kurt Angle action short.
I have some that we're going to talk about that next week. Okay. Oh, I got a note on that.
I don't know what that could possibly mean.
It's more insane than you could think.
Great.
Yeah, we'll talk about that before the show next week. First ever Angle Awards. Here comes Kurt with the IWGP, TNA, and X Division title, and Karen is holding both tag team titles. Bob, the night before the pay-per-view happened, Jeff Jarrett was out doing something really special. He was with Hulk Hogan and his family celebrating his 54th birthday at Linkin Park concert in Tampa. Jarrett seemed that he had a lot on his mind and left the concert early. And Jarrett has been trying to get Hogan unsuccessfully for years. So he might have just been being friendly in this case, but still noteworthy.
Well, he's been trying to get Hogan for at least 4.
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
So much as to promote Bound for Glory.
With Hulk Hogan coming.
And then that never happened.
No.
Well, not in 2003 at least.
Kurt Angle was showing off every title and just laying him in the ring. It would have been cool if they could have stayed up, but it's okay. As he continues to do this, I have a final note for you, and that's that on the Lockdown DVD that they released from earlier this year, they actually edited out the crowd chants that when they were yelling "Fire Russo." They edited them out of the show.
Of course they did.
So that is all of my notes for today's show.
That was with the blindfold match, right?
Yeah, I think it was. We saw it, though. We know.
We sure did. We've lived it.
Okay, Kurt is at the podium. There's a bunch of awards on the TV tables, it looks like. Yep. Oh, here we go. What are they? The best husband and wife team in sports entertainment today. You're looking at him, ladies and gentlemen. Karen and Kurt Angle. It's got gold written all over it, baby. Would you boo Karen, though? Would you?
Probably not. She's hot.
Oh, we're seeing a highlight package of how good Karen did. Look, this is so funny. We're seeing these. They dress her like a mom. They have her like. She showed a little emotion in that one, but everything else she did was very like tame. She's dressed like a mom, and now she comes out in this black dress, very revealing top.
You can tell that she can play the bitch character very well.
Oh my god. And boy, does she for a very long time.
Yeah.
Oh, the first award is a tie. The best supporting actor goes to his best friend, trademark, his doctor, Dr. Nash. Wait a second. Is that... Hold on. I need to look this up before I say this out loud, and it sounds really stupid.
Not... Trademark. That's funny.
I'm looking something up. And I'll tell you if I... No. Oh, I found it. It's spelled with a C.
Oh, do you think it's the musician guy?
Yeah, and it is, in fact, the younger first cousin of WWE wrestler John Cena, who is on the 2005 album You Can't See Me. And Bob, I met Trademark. Holy shit.
Wait, he's related to John Cena?
Yes. The Trademark. He's an American rapper. This is a real dude. John Cena's cousin. He's on John Cena's album.
She'd like to thank the victim, Samoa Joe.
To suck you in like the sucker you are.
The way that she's saying suck is is just fucking wild.
Well, second to none. Oh, Jim Cornette's interrupting.
Of course he is.
Bob, this has blown my mind right now that's Trademark.
I had no idea who he was.
I will send you a picture after if I can find it easy enough. I have his autograph.
Where did you meet him?
At Best Buy with John Cena.
Oh, okay. So he was with John.
Yeah, it was an album signing, and I met him. He signed my album and my Raw magazine. Oh shit! Jim Cornette just said at No Surrender, Kurt Angle is defending all 3 titles. Defending the X Division title against Black Machismo. You're going to defend the World Heavyweight Championship against the winner of Christian Cage and Abyss in the first blood match.
They said a bit. They even showed a video package for Abyss.
And giving it a lot of thought. You better find yourself a partner. Because you're going to defend the World Tag Team titles. Oh no. Against
What
Team Pacman.
That is such a joke. Oh, I thought he was going to punch Cornette.
Confirmed, those are TV tables with like little red things around them. But yeah, he's throwing shit around. Matt Morgan, first time Matt Morgan has gotten physical, and he takes off his jacket and his shirt, and he is not just a guy in a suit. Karen just kind of slapped him, yeah.
Dude, we're going to get Kurt and Matt Morgan at Bound for Glory 2007.
Look how many people they're using to hold him back. Is he going to explode out? Let's see. Oh, they went to commercial.
Dude, it's a slow build. Okay, so here's a video package. This is for No Surrender. We would think it's Abyss that's going to challenge fucking Kurt.
Yeah, but this is like that classic WCW thing. This could have been already made. They showed this. They showed this at Hard Justice
at the end, right at the end.
It was at the end. That's true. No Surrender live Sunday, September 9th.
You are right. That very well could be a WCW thing.
However, you're also right because, duh. Oh, you want the inside scoop? Get a free week of TNA Mobile. Text 76,000.
I would text that number, but then I'd probably get a charge of like $14 for something.
I tried once. It didn't work. It was really sad.
Oh, it didn't even go through.
No. Me, the instant classic. Every man has a breaking point, and right now I'm at it. Tonight, AJ Styles. Tomko, you got to do it yourself.
It's true. He's never been pinned or submitted.
I can't believe they just said that, though. I feel like they've kind of kept it under wraps.
They've absolutely kept it under wraps. Oh, Samoa Joe's here.
This is the first bullshit I had to hear when I got to the building.
Samoa Joe, why are you over 40 minutes late to the show?
You want to be number one contender? You want to be champ? Oh, I'll see you out there.
What? So Joe is saying that he can be the number one contender, but over his dead body. He'll see him out there, but it's between Christian. It's between Christian and Abyss. Samoa Joe, what are you up to, you little rascal? He's up to no good.
Introducing first from Tampa, Florida. It's the instant classic. It's Christian Cage. Oh, by the way, we haven't done a time check. We are 34 minutes and 43 seconds into the show. We're heading toward our main event. Oh, he's throwing signs and... That's right, Sting had to use wire cutters to even get into the cage.
Yeah.
Well, here's his opponent.
It's
funny because for a while I feel like we were like, okay, Sting and Abyss and Christian Cage, they're gonna get their hands on each other, and now it just like won't stop. Just remember though, earlier last year he tried to drown Christian in his own home.
Yeah, dude.
And honestly, some of my favorite shit. I'm not gonna lie.
That was just classic, yeah.
An instant classic, if you will.
Yeah.
Christian immediately goes after the monster Abyss. Abyss has taped up arms because he was cut with the glass at Hard Justice.
Yeah, unfortunately, Abyss cannot escape getting just cut up with glass.
Oh, he went for a splash in the corner. Christian moved out of the way. Oh, he's biting the head. He's going to make it bleed already. Bleed and lose.
I just thought of this. I just thought of something.
Huh.
They
Oh.
They are protecting Christian as much as they can, because if he loses it, it's only because he will bleed, not because
Oh
he's
my
pinned or submitted.
god. That's crazy. I wonder why they're protecting him so much.
I don't know, man. But then, like, I'm thinking for Abyss, I mean, the guy can't ever beat Christian because it'll kill his gimmick right now, being undefeated. So he's got to find any possible way to beat him. And I guess the only way directly that he could beat Christian is if he makes him bleed right now.
Right. I feel like sometimes you want to like knock guys and be like, they just don't want to put people over and stuff. But I feel like Christian would be the kind of guy that he wouldn't really give a shit. So it's funny that
I don't think he would.
Drop
just
I
think stairs. Maybe to some extent they've accidentally booked it where he hasn't lost in over a year.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I do think it's definitely accidental. And then it got to a point where they were like, oh, well, he's undefeated.
Right. I mean, for a guy to lose the TNA title twice and not be pinned,
that's crazy.
Submitted in doing so is incredible.
Oh, look at that. Tomko came out, and then during the break, he handed Cage a screwdriver, and then Andrew Thomas told him to leave. So he already gave him a screwdriver. You might as well just let him stay at that point.
Right. I mean, it's also no disqualification. Why is he not allowed out there?
Concerto in the ring, it looks like.
Unless they were banned. Were they banned?
I do think Christian more or less wanted them not there. I guess I don't know if they were officially banned, but Abyss avoided the concerto, goes for the choke slam, but Cage hopped out off the ropes, comes back, gets hit in the midsection.
Back treatment.
Is he gonna hit it? No. Unprettier? No.
Shock
treatment.
No.
Countered again. Ducks the clothesline. Christian's got the chair. Punched into his face.
Oh. Is he bleeding? Watch his fist. Is his fist bleeding? That counts.
That's a great question. The replay. Pop. 3 replays of the punch to the chair to the head.
Here's the thing. I don't think it was in TNA, but I remember watching a First Blood match, and a guy accidentally started bleeding, and then they're like, "Well, it's not actually enough blood of substance." Because he wasn't supposed to lose.
Oh. They have to be substantially bleeding.
Yeah, it was like an accidental cut, so they're just like, yeah, no, it doesn't count.
That's crazy.
Force him bleed. Yeah, it was nuts.
That is kind of interesting too, because like it's kind of like the tables match thing. Well, if he falls through a table, it doesn't really count. He's got to be put through the table.
Put through it.
So if he punched the chair and theoretically made his own hand bleed, maybe it shouldn't count.
Right.
Christian just came off the top for a frog splash, but was caught into a chokeslam, but that was countered. And then thrown into the chair that was wedged in the corner. Is that going to be it? Is he going to be bleeding?
Watch his face.
No blood. No blood. We're here comes Styles now. We're getting down to the end of this, and no one's bleeding yet. Styles is going underneath the ring. Pretty far. What's he grabbing? Oh, a barbed wire bat. You cannot avoid bleeding if you get hit with that. Oh, it's Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. He's pissed.
Circling around the 6-sided ring, grabs the barbed wire bat from Christian. Oh! Chair shot by Samoa Joe. Tosses it to the Monster Abyss, who had one behind him anyways, but... Knockout blow. Is he bleeding?
Here's the thing.
He's bleeding.
It the Abyss chair shot? Is it the Abyss chair shot or the Joe chair shot that got him?
I would say it was the knockout blow Abyss chair shot. But the first one loosened him up a bit. Oh, here comes Kurt Angle. Attacking his new challenger.
In dress shoes.
Good point.
You can see him slipping. You could roll an ankle real easy.
Oh, yeah, he could. It's Kurt Angle, the Kurt Angle Awards night. You can't wear wrestling boots. Holy shit! Oh my god. Okay, 2 headshots. Right into the midsection as well. The chair has a head imprint on it now. So he grabs the other chair. Oh, that's another one.
Shoulder. And
that's a head.
This is I mean, it's not 22 chair shots or whatever, but this is like The Rock doing it to freaking Mankind at Royal Rumble. Fuck Karen.
Karen Angle freeze. Don't you move a muscle. What you just pulled next week? Okay. Next week. You, Kurt Angle, 1 against 2 in a handicap match. Kurt Angle versus the Steiner brothers next week?
What?
Karen Angle is going to be ringside. And if the Steiners beat Kurt Angle, they're going to get 5 minutes with Karen Angle?
Why?
Wait a second. If the Steiners beat Angle, they get 5 minutes in the ring with Karen.
Dude, Karen's about to become Scott Steiner's freak, dude. This is not good.
But number 1 freak, Karen.
Oh my god.
Oh, look, dude. Low by Bro King.
By Bro King.
We're seeing a highlight package from the show here with the DX band song. Or band music. Okay. Well, we're going off the air here. Bob, what did you think of that episode of Impact?
Okay, so I like the Kurt and Karen dynamic. Karen is going to be a fantastic character, I think, for us to watch.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that Kurt and Karen kind of had longer time to be this annoying heel couple without getting some kind of revenge thrown at them. Like, I don't know what the Steiner brothers would have to do with any of this. But
yeah, that's fair.
I guess we're doing that.
It's making me curious how long it's going to last. Like, is this just like a temporary, like, okay, Karen's here for like a hot minute. Like, we'll do a little bit. We'll do this like this month long or 2-month build toward Bound for Glory or something.
I was gonna say probably Bound for Glory. I would imagine at least Bound for Glory.
But so far, I'm also enjoying it. I also think that the 2 matches, because we only saw 2 matches, I thought they were not too bad for TV matches. I enjoyed the segments. This is an easy thumbs up episode of Impact for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Lethal Daniels was good. Lethal Winning's fine. Probably the right direction if you're having Kurt now wrestle 3 times at No Surrender.
Right, we have
the first
a lot
blood
of
thing,
matches.
Yeah, the first blood match thing. I mean, I really wish Abyss would get just the full-fledged revenge without the assistance. I mean, Samoa Joe getting involved, I mean, that doesn't really do anything for Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
And they made Christian bleed, but I think for me being an old school wrestling, I guess you can classify me as old school thinking. I mean, Abyss never pinned Christian or anything, so I don't think he really won the feud. He doesn't have that decisive pin over the guy.
Yeah, feud-wise, no, probably not.
Right, and considering all the things that Christian either did directly or indirectly to Abyss, kind of outweighs Abyss making him bleed 1 time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give this a thumbs down. I would say a thumbs up slightly, I guess. The Pacman Jones thing is horrible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's so bad.
Yeah, and the fact that he's going to be in a title match, apparently, at No Surrender is laughable. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was fine. We already have 3 matches for No Surrender lined up. I mean, that's...
Well, and listen, we've been bitching the last 2 pay-per-views that we've only had essentially a match with titles on the line. We do have 3 matches, all 3 titles on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have the same guy in it, but we have 3 title matches, not just 1 with everything on the line.
That's the thing that I was going to say, too, is, I mean, Kurt is great, obviously. But you get potentially tired of seeing the same guy on a show if you wrestle. It's just like the King of the Ring, any kind of tournament. It's like, okay, I'm going to see in the tournament sense, I'm going to see at least 2 guys, potentially 3 times.
Right.
Kind of wears you down a little bit, but
yeah,
we'll have to just wait and see how it goes, I guess.
That's right. Well, time will tell, and we are on the march toward no surrender officially.
Yeah, we are. And then there was a lot of stuff that wasn't even addressed, like Rhino and Storm, all that wasn't even mentioned. So we'll have to see kind of maybe where they're going in the future for that. And a whole lot more. I mean, Team 3D wasn't even on the show. So who knows? We still have several weeks before we get to the show. So now next week, what we know, action-wise, the handicap match, Steiner Brothers taking on Kurt Angle, who obviously has all the titles. And if the Steiner Brothers defeat Kurt Angle, they will get 5 minutes alone with Karen.
What a stipulation.
That's bizarre.
I want them to win just to see what that even entails.
Me too, honestly. I want to see what they would even do. Are they going to beat her up? I don't. She didn't do anything to them. I don't know why that would be a punishment, but whatever. All right, that's all we got for this week's episode. Be sure to join us next week as we continue on towards no surrender. So until then, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Cross the Line podcast.